So I want to talk about this process of taking this leap of faith. I made a video before and it was about taking this leap, taking this jump off of the cliff and finding out that you have wings and that you can actually fly and that you could soar. And I want to just talk about that process a little bit because many of us have taken that leap. And then after you've taken that leap, you may find that it feels like your situation has gotten worse and it hasn't gotten better. You can also find in that process that after you've taken the leap and after your process doesn't feel like it's gotten any better, that the Lord is asking you yet to take another leap. So what you can find yourself doing is, hey, I jumped off the cliff, but I didn't ascend right away. You could, but for some, you don't ascend right away. You actually descend, and you descend a lot further than what's comfortable for you. That feels downright deadly. You may get scared and try to catch yourself on a ledge. And doing that, you may find that you get a whole lot of bumps and bruises from the side of the cliff. You may realize that, hey, I don't caught on to something and try to lift yourself up to support yourself maybe on a ledge. You might find yourself sitting there for a while, questioning why you even took the jump in the first place because you're feeling like it didn't work for you. Your wings didn't expand. You're not flying. You're not soaring the way how you're supposed to. You're thinking you're upset at God because there's no way you could climb all the way back up. But how could you go further down? It just doesn't make sense. So you're stuck in a place. But see, the Lord wants you there because now you can't rely on anything but Him. And in this process, He'll even tell you, okay, you've been there long enough. Now, in this jump is where it's going to happen. Take the next jump. And you're like terrified because you're saying, I already took a leap. I thought that was enough. I already took the leap and nothing happened. Why would I take another leap? But God is like, just trust the process. There's a certain level that you're supposed to get to. And it wasn't going to happen in that time. It wasn't going to happen in that way because you have to reach a certain depth at a certain appointed time. And it wouldn't have happened even if you did it all at once. So that's why I told you to take the jump when you did, because I know that you would need process. So I want to talk to you in that way because I don't want you to take the step and take the jump and take the leap and then just expect everything to be all good and all gravy and you just soaring and it just being amazing. I want you to know that this is a process. This is a journey that you take with the Lord. You see, we got to get out of this spoiled mindset in which we're like, why ain't happened yet? Where we're charging God. And we find ourselves in a Job situation and God got to come back around and check us and be like, hey, where were you when the foundations of the earth were laid? Right? So I never want to give anybody the wrong impression because, to be honest, I jumped. And when I jumped, I realized, yeah, I caught some L's along the way. And I still didn't step into my promise. And then I was asked to make more jumps in the process. But I got to understand that God's leading me somewhere. And He's not going to let me hit the ground. You understand? Because God's got me in this process. He's leading it. He's guiding it. See, once when we realize that God is watching over our whole situation, that God don't miss a beat, that every single step that we take, the Lord watches over and doesn't miss one. Matter of fact, the Alpha and Omega has already seen every step that we would take. So nothing catches him off guard. It's not a surprise. When we realize that, and we realize that God is for us, that this is my heavenly Father here, we realize that God ain't gonna do nothing to me that's meant to harm me. He's not gonna do anything to me that's meant to work against me. Even what the devil tries to do, he's going to work together for my good. So you got to move in the direction that the Lord is asking you to move in, because it's all meant to bring you into what he desires to bring you into, which is the manifestation of your heart's desires. But it even goes further than your heart desires. It goes beyond what man can even imagine, what you can even imagine, and it's all for you. So just trust him in that thing. Again, I don't want you to think you're going to take that leap and it's going to be all good right away. There are many people that can attest to the fact that I took the leap, and for a minute there, it looked real shaky. And a minute could be months. A minute could be years. You see what I'm saying? But it was all used, because at some point it all came together. Whew. And when it all came together, it was just like an explosion of blessings. When it all came together, it all came together. I just had to trust it. So I just wanted to make sure that I put out that message responsibly, because I was real upset and I was real frustrated when I took the leap and I saw that my leap didn't lead me into my promised land right away. That I had some bumps, that I had some bruises, that I had some more waiting, that I had more jumps. But I want you to know that as long as you keep seeking the Father and seeking what he's doing in the moment, the Lord in his timing will reveal to you exactly what he's doing. You just have to trust him, surrender to him, and partner with him. And say, all right, this don't look good from man's eyes, but from your perspective, it's building me. From your perspective, it's making me ready for exactly what it is that you desire me to do, and I trust you with it. So don't let the fact that when you take the jump and take the leap right away, that you don't walk into a pot of gold. You don't just fall into all your blessings. Don't be tricked by that. Don't be fooled by that. That all it takes is just one decision, one step, one leap of faith, and all of a sudden you drowning in blessings. Okay? But understand, the blessing is Jesus Christ. And as long as you have him, you have all you need. Because he's going to walk you and direct you into all the things that he has tailor-made for you. And that takes a time, because it's not just for you, it is for you, through you, for them. But it starts with you. And what he's doing is the work in you to clear the way for him to move through you to them. So when you get to the fact that you realize he's preparing you first for the vessel that he will move through, you understand why this process takes the way that it takes. So you just trust him every step of the way. It may not be a clear jump and flight right away. It may be a journey, even just an odyssey that the Lord takes you on. Be prepared for it. But no, in the end, you're going to soar. Talk soon.